Hello everyone, this is the Prussian Prince with another Total War Attila tournament match cast, and this is going to be Fury of Barbarians 2 round of 32 match between Achilles of Agony and Diversant of USSR clan. And this is the first game. Achilles is the Burgundians and Diversant is the Saxons. Let's go into slow motion. And I'm actually going to go over the rules once again in just a second. So let's see. Map is plains as usual. Then you have max 6 of the same unit, max 6 spikes, max 6 cav, max 8 foot skirmishers, general included in all limits, artillery band, defensive structures band, that would be fortifications I guess, and you cannot place more than 2 units outside of your deployment zone, that is for Celts. And also, you cannot redline camp as usual. And the player who only has cav left and no ammo has to essentially attack. If the timer runs out, winner is determined by kill count. Should not really happen. It is a best of 5 this matchup. And let's go over the compositions. So for Achilles, we have the Burgundians. His general is a Burgundian guard, and he has bronze 3 and brace on it. As for his cav, 3 Royal Lancers on the right, 3 Royal Lancers on the left, pretty standard stuff. Up front we see a lot of skirmishers, 3, 4, 5, 6 scattershot hurlers with a Germanic bow up front. In the back, 6 Burgundian axemen. This is a pretty standard Burgundian build. It's hard to go wrong with a build when you place the Burgundians. Now for Diversant, who is playing as the Saxons, a more interesting build. We have a Nordic raid leader here with brace. Up front looks like 4 Nordic hurlers, 2 on each flank. And we see in total 3 pikes, 1 on the left, 1 in the center and 1 on the right. We have 3 Nordic horse lords on the left, 1 silver 1, 2 bronze 3. Then on the right, 3 Nordic horse lords as well, 2 bronze 3, 1 silver 1. We also have 2 Nordic axe warriors, bronze 1 on the left, 2 Nordic axe warriors, bronze 1 in the center, and 2 Nordic axes, bronze 1 on the right. That would be the Saxon build. Let's fast forward a little bit to get into the action. As you can see, the scattershot hurlers, before they were in loose formation, now they don't need to be because it's just 4 enemy skirmishers and they are not in loose formation themselves, so no need to go loose formation if your opponent isn't usually. So here is a nice skirmish engagement by the Burgundians with precision shot. These units are taking a lot of damage. However, he should potentially, the Burgundians should switch target to these axes and perhaps cav or even pikes, because shooting at the hurler is not the best thing to do. But doing damage to these axes, as you can see, already dropping a lot of those axes down is very nice. Should play defensively though, but shouldn't let his scattershot hurlers get charged like he is here. This is not good for the Burgundians. And here he's gonna pull back, which is nice. But his scattershot hurlers will be charged here, and he doesn't have any cav support nearby. That's not good for Burgundians. Here we're gonna see a cav charge into these Nordic horse lords, but again, not the most optimal engagement because this hurler is in the fight. And it's not really going to block the charge, but still, this is a very good move by the Saxons getting into these Burgundian axemen. And over here you see basically horse lords charging in, and these scattershot hurlers getting charged themselves. So some miss micro by the Burgundians here, letting the missiles get charged. But on the right, pulling back nicely, and these horse lords, looks like this Royal Lancer charge did not connect properly here, as you can see. But here, this is going very well here. This Burgundian axeman trading well. Royal Lancer not pulled out properly here, and this Royal Lancer is pulling out after getting a nice cav charge off onto the axe unit. Here we have an engagement. Looks like the Royal Lancers did not get a charge off here either. These hurlers not pulling back, which is a mistake. Nice axe charge here though with the Burgundian axeman, but as you can see, this horse lord has done a lot of damage to the Burgundian axeman. Here, these axes with the Royal Lancers will hold well, but more Royal Lancers on the field here. Now this Royal Lancer can disengage as this unit pulled out. We can see this hurler targeting the axe unit over there, and this horse lord is going down. But as you can see, the right flank of the Saxons, I mean of the Burgundians, is breaking because of the multiple cav charges. That wasn't good at all for the Burgundians, and the Burgundians doing a weird thing here, just fighting against this horse lord with 2 royal lancers like that is never a good idea. As you can see, the horse lord trading very well in that engagement, stopping those units for so long, especially this shock cav kills so slowly after the initial charge. Over here, the horse lord is going to end up killing these royal lancers. Royal lancers is pulling out, so they're probably just going to rout here. These Burgundian axemen not doing good against Nordic axes either. This flank though is going far better for the Burgundians though, very well done. And looks like they're finally going to target that axe warrior, which is just going to die here. This axe getting targeted as well. The royal lancer is going for them. Goodbye unit of axes. But right flank not looking great at all for the Burgundians though, as you can see here. Here come the axes into these Nordic axes. That's funny to say. However, the Burgundian general is going to end up dying soon, and this isn't good for the Burgundians at all. The fact that he's engaged in this blob, this is not a good engagement for him. But if he gets like a lot of kills, it's worth it. But he's not even getting a lot of kills here. The way he'd get a lot of kills would be if all the Saxons just simply pulled out of this Burgundian guard, which they might soon. But the Burgundian guard not really getting any kills. Okay, it's getting some kills, so I guess some units pulled through, but still. And now the Burgundian general is dead, and that's going to be really bad for the Burgundians. Though they broke through on their left flank very nicely. Still, this axe routed again, it seems. And these hurlers could just be charged and killed off the field. I mean, I don't know why they're not getting charged. Simply, right now, Burgundians could just focus on that flank, charge these hurlers, then go for the axe unit and be done with that side. I don't know why he's reforming to face against these units, and I don't know especially why he's taking the scav fight here. Yes, he's gonna get a lot of kills onto this horse lord off the charge, but now his royal lancer is going to die if the general gets sent in for the Saxons, but he's not. The Saxons are not repositioning their forces somehow for some reason to get rid of this royal lancer, it appears. So the royal lancer is actually going to win here in this fight, because there might be more royal lancers supporting. Here we see a nice royal lancer charge into these axes, and that axe warrior looks like it routed on its own. This pike unit kind of got charged here, but looks like it's going to kill a couple of the royal lancers, so that's actually kind of worth it. But this charge is going to actually kill off this horse lord potentially, and then it's going to allow this royal lancer to pull out. Nicely routed the spike unit, and now routed the Nordic hurlers here too, and these axes. So actually this could go pretty well for the Burgundians, but pulling out here with a movement order away from these Nordic axes, losing a lot of men in doing so, and this unit could now chain waver and rout off the field. This Nordic hurler refuses to rout. It is actually on 2 morale and doesn't want to rout at all. But this axe unit could rout instead soon. Looks like it is a -23, so it is going to rout. Nordic raid leader is still alive with 37 men left. And I don't know why these hurlers are not trying to come in to support, because if they did, this could actually turn around very nicely for the Saxons, because then they could just use the hurlers to soak up charges. Nordic raid leader here, this is a crazy move against the axeman, because he could die right now, and this royal lancer is going to come in here. Not gonna get a charge off. They could have actually charged the pikes, but I guess he decided to play safe. And this hurler is taking a lot of damage here. But the unit is pulling out, so, but still. Very, very nice for the Burgundians. Looks like they are going to turn it around as the Nordic raid leader is getting off the field here. And nicely done here by the Burgundians, actually chasing the Nordic raid leader, because if the Nordic raid leader dies, the general that is, then he could actually just win based off of army losses. He could rout this Nordic pike like that. And as long as he gets into these Nordic hurlers, I think if he just routs the Nordic hurlers, the pike unit might rout by itself. But this Nordic raid leader is just one, he's the single man in the unit. This is the general. Let's see him fight here. This is the general unit. He's fighting. He's fighting. He's still here. Oh, and he's dead. He is dead. He has been killed. The general has been killed of the Saxons, and this is looking good now for the Burgundians after killing that general. A mass rout of a lot of these Saxon units. I believe even this unit routed. They had an extra Nordic Horse Lord. Now the Nordic Hurlers are routing, chain routing off the field. Their morale is very low, down at 15 and 13. This Nordic Pike even has 13 morale. The general recently died, and this is not looking good for the Saxons. With proper Royal Lancer charges, this game is over and in the Burgundians' favor. We will see if we're going to have the proper Royal Lancer charges, though. This Pike is going to have to protect both of these hurlers, it seems. But if that's going to be difficult if the Royal Lancers come from multiple angles. Let's fast forward a little bit here. Looks like everyone is resting their troops. Here comes the charge by the Royal Lancers. Oh, they're not charging in here. Now they're going to go in, but oh, they messed the charge up. Royal Lancers here mess up their charge, however, because it's hurlers, they can't really do any damage. Now the hurlers are pushing out very far, so now they can get charged by the Royal Lancers. Another cav charge here, but these pikes are not killing anything almost. Maybe this single horse unit, but overall these hurlers are wavering. So, and they're chasing off against this unit, so nice cav charge here as well by the Royal Lancers. The hurlers are routed off the field. This unit has 8 morale, the pike unit, so it could just chain rout very, very soon. Army losses could cause this unit to rout. It's still dropping in morale. Now it's actually increasing to 9. But it got charged now, and looks like it is not in position, and it gets charged. So the Nordic Pike unit is now routed off the field, and that is game. The Burgundians take it. Achilles with the clutch victory here against Diversant in the first game. Some amazing kills on his Royal Lancers, but one of them only getting 4 kills. Scattershot's doing some damage, and also the Burgundian Axemen. Lots of them didn't do as well as you would expect. I mean, yeah, up against Nordic Axe Warriors, but still some got charged and were not able to be effective because of that. But anyway, that is game 1, so I shall see you in game number 2. It's game 2 where we have Achilles playing as the Saxons and Diversant is now the Jutes. So this matchup is not very good for the Saxons, obviously, because they're up against Jutes, they're up against the Huskarls, which are very strong. However, the Saxons do have some tricks up their sleeve, which they can use to try and win this matchup. So let's see what the Saxons have brought here. Chief Nordic Raid Leader, actually, with Brace, it seems. Then we have 2 Heroic Cav on the right. Make that 3, I guess. 1 supporting the skirmishes. Then on the left flank, also 3 Heroic Cav. So that is one trick that the Saxons can use. Heroic Cav does actually beat the Nordic Horse Lords. Other than that, we see a bunch of Nordic Hurlers. 3, 4, 5, 6 Nordic Hurlers. And looks like a bunch of axes. 3, 4, 5 Nordic Axe Warriors, out of which 3 are Bronze 1. We also see this Nordic Javelinman on the field. 2 of them, actually. So it is actually possible to win with the Saxons against Jutes, but it is really, really hard. Now let's look at Diversant's build as the Jutes. We see a Nordic Raid Leader General with Brace. Then we have 2 Nordic Horse Lords on the right. One is Bronze 1. In the center, 2 Nordic Horse Lords as well. Again, one is Bronze 1. And on the left flank, basically the same thing. 2 Nordic Horse Lords. One is Bronze 1. And then up front, looks like we have 6 Nordic bands supported by 6 hurlers, Huskarls, I imagine. Indeed, that is the case. So it's a pure rush build here from the Jutes. And now the Saxons, what they have to do is they have to defend. And with hurlers, they have potential to do this. And if the hurlers slow down the axes and the cav enough, and then do damage to the Huskarls, this could be a win for the Saxons. It is definitely possible. As well as the Javelins. The Javelins can kill axes fairly quickly. As well as the enemy cavalry, if the cavalry does end up going through. Looks like we're going to have an engagement here. As you can see, the Nordic band here getting engaged by the Heroic Cav. Heroic Cav going to disengage here. Huskarls getting charged, and they lost a lot of men from the charge and getting focused by Nordic hurlers. Already 1 Huskarl is almost off the field, so very nice targeting by the Saxons here. And we're going to have a Heroic Cav going through again. Looks like 2 Heroic Cav against 1, and also this Huskarl is basically off the field. In the center we have Heroic Cav coming in. We need to see these hurlers back out of this situation. Horse Lords here getting into these Axe Warriors though. That is important for the Jutes. Damage done to these Axe Warriors allows the Huskarls to be even more effective. But I believe the Saxons need to pull out of this engagement here. Otherwise, I mean, they're gonna definitely lose this fight. And I don't know why they're not kiting here. That is not a good move. But on this flank, as you can see, a Heroic Cav gonna get into the Nordic Raid Leader here. And this general is losing. We see the Saxon Javelin targeting this Huskarl, but actually it might... Maybe you should just start targeting the Nordic Raid Leader of the Jutes instead. Here comes the General of the Saxons. Definitely going to be a good engagement for it. Over here, it's going to kill this Scav unit and potentially kill that Huskarl, because there's 2 axes against 1. So that is definitely possible. This Scav unit routed off the field with an axe supporting as well. So at the moment, looking very good for the Saxons. One thing they have to take care about is going to be this Nordic Horse Lord. But look at these Javelins just destroying this Huskarl unit. Very nicely done by the Saxons here. Also, this Huskarl going to be off the field. These Huskarls routing too, and the Nordic band as well. More charges here into the rear of this Horse Lord. I don't know why we don't see a charge into the Raid Leader though. That would be pretty good. These Javelins need to actually focus this Cav unit. That is the most important thing right now. And on this right flank, as you can see, Saxons clearly losing this flank, but they're winning on the left. Oh, these Axe Warriors got pulled out at the last second, so they're still going to get charged, but not the best charge, I guess. This Horse Lord is going to be off the field, and now this this one is just going to die to all these axes, I believe. So 3 Cav units here will die for the Jutes potentially, but the right flank of the Saxons is not doing well at all. As you can see, it's completely dead. But the General of the Jutes now going to get focused here, and he's going to die because he engaged. And also, same thing could happen to the Saxon General, but there are not enough units here of the Jutes to kill this Saxon General, unless he is unlucky, of course. Still lots of Jutes units that are coming in from this side, but this unit is walking, which is a massive mistake by the Jutes. This horse unit could die soon if focused properly by the Nordic Raid Leader. Oh, the Nordic Raid Leader could die, and finally the Jutes General is dead after he was chased. Looks like he died very, very late. But the General of the Saxons could die instead now, activating Brace very nicely. This Nordic band is gonna kill some of the Nordic Raid Leader, I guess, but... Oh, the General routes for the Saxons, but he's not dead, so that's good for the Saxons. This Javelin unit getting charged, but it's actually not so bad, because now all these units can focus onto this Horse Lord. This Axe unit going to go down, it's that Huskarl, that is. And now what do the Jutes have left? Well, this Horse Lord, which is now engaging by the way, so he's going to die. A Nordic band and a full Huskarl. Yes, the full Huskarl is scary, but the thing about it is that there are more axes on the field and even a Javelin unit for the Saxons. So I really think that the Saxons are in a good position here. Here comes this Axe Warrior gonna come in, and I wonder how much damage it's actually gonna do to the Huskarl. It is going to do some damage, that is for certain. Oh, this is actually a Nordic band. That is why it charged the Nordic band. Gonna see a calf charge here into the Huskarls. Not the best angle though, but still going to do some damage. And we're gonna see this heroic calf flanking around and should go for the rear of that Huskarl. That charge will end it. Looks like it is now coming in from the flank into the Huskarl, doing a lot of damage. More axes coming in, just a lot of axes still left on the field for the Saxons. Coming in to destroy this final Huskarl unit. Huskarls getting a lot of kills here, but at this point they're just charged from all angles. So they're gonna start dropping like flies. And it looks like now they rout off the field, and it is once again a victory for Achilles. Lots of kills on the javelins, some decent kills on the heroic cap and the axes as well. Even the general getting a lot of kills himself. Now for Diversant though, as you can see, his horse lords, some did okay, and the Nordic band even got some kills, some important kills it seems, but the Huskarls just were not able to do what they needed to do because they got charged repeatedly. So they were in suboptimal engagements. And that is game. Currently 2-0 for Achilles. He's on match point, and I shall see you in game number 3. This is game 3 of the match between Achilles and Diversant. And in this game, we have Achilles playing as the Danes and Diversant as the Burgundians. Clearly a matchup that really favors the Burgundians, but it's not like the Danes cannot win. It is time, however, to go over the builds. So we have for Achilles, as the Danes, Nordic Raid Leader General with Brace, Then we have 3 of these Nordic Horse Lords on the right, 3 Nordic Horse Lords bronze, 1 on the left. No, actually only 2 are bronze, 1, and on the right, none of them have any upgrades. Then up front we have, looks like, a bunch of Nordic Hurlers in loose formation, very nice, 5 of them. In the back we have 2 Nordic Javelin Men in total, with 6 of these Nordic Axe Warriors. Looks like they're all bronze too, so very nice build here for the Saxons. Definitely one that I could see winning against the Burgundians. Then we have for the Burgundians, played by Diversant Burgundian Guard, generally with Brace. Also looks like 3 Royal Lancers on the left, 3 Royal Lancers on the right, 4 Skirmishers. Have a bunch of Scattershot Hurlers, looks like 6 of them. Indeed. Then we have on the right flank 2 Burgundian Axemen, bronze 2. In the center, 2 Burgundian Axemen, bronze 1. And on the left, 2 Burgundian Axemen, bronze 2. Now let's fast forward until we actually get an engagement. But definitely a slight skirmish advantage for the Danes, and I say that even though, actually no, only 5 Nordic Hurlers against 6 Scattershot Hurlers. Scattershots 1-on-1 are better than Nordic Hurlers, and besides, there's a numerical superiority here for the Burgundians. So definitely skirmish advantage goes to Burgundians, and cav advantage as well. However, what the Danes do have is the Nordic Javelin Men. If they use those properly, they can turn things around. Now here, as you can see, the Danes trying to push on forward into the Hurlers. This is not really a bad idea theoretically, but the thing about it is that now the Scattershots are precision shotting into this Horse Lord, into its rear, by the way, so more and more volley is going to come in, and this Horse Lord just going to lose a lot of men. As you can see, it's focused heavily right now. It's not only is it slower, but it's taking a lot of damage from the precision shot of the Scattershot. So this is a very, very good trade for the Burgundians, actually. Down to 49 men. Very, very nice. Now they're going to focus on this Hurler instead. So some nice micro by the Burgundians, and good targeting, of course. Very well done there. Let's fast forward a little bit, though. Looks like the Burgundians, I mean, they're not winning the skirmish engagement. However, they have to pull back and set up a position over here with most of their units. Otherwise, the Scattershots are going to get some volleys off into these Nordic axes. As you can see, that is happening right now. These Scattershots are just moving up. They're going to target, indeed, the axes. Also with precision shot as well. So very nice damage into these axes. Here comes that engagement. The Nordic Horse Lord here getting charged, and actually loses like a lot of men on the charge, and even more. Just down to 27 men. This is insane. I don't know what it lost so many men from. I guess partially because of that Hurler harass. And now these Horse Lords disengaging, which is even worse actually. The disengaging part, because now they actually didn't lose anything. Okay, they lost some men. Here this Hurler is gonna go down, but in the process some of these axes did get injured over here, but I guess it's not really worth it. But I mean, at least the Nordic Hurlers don't really have ammo left. This Horse Lord gets an insane charge by this Royal Lancer. However, the Royal Lancer here, as you can see, it's now targeted by Nordic Javelin Men, so the Jav's doing well here. But the Royal Lancer's coming in here. Another cav charge here. The Royal Lancer's getting into the Horse Lords and doing so much damage with Burgundian Axemen support. Yes, axes are coming in, but still, this right flank went horribly wrong for the Danes, and it's still going extremely wrong. More Burgundian Axemen coming in. Even the Axe Warriors have to engage here, but so much cav left for the Burgundians here, and they should just come around. This Horse Lord did come back though for the Danes, so it's not fully over, I suppose, but it's looking horrible for the Danes. As you can see, this unit got charged by Royal Lancers and is now losing a lot of men. More Burgundian Axemen sent in by the Burgundians. Just so many units just wavering right now for the Danes. These Javelins doing a lot of damage though, as you can see, just killing this Royal Lancer. Very nicely done here. This unit is just going to go down rapidly to the Javs. These axes also throwing their axes, I guess you could say, and they're not actually throwing though. They didn't throw anything at all. These Horse Lords holding off all these units very nicely. But the thing is, they're going to end up dying soon and pretty quickly up against all these axes, that is. Horse Lords here not doing great. Royal Lancers pulling out. This engagement not going very well for the Danes either. So it doesn't look like the Danes can win on any side. Royal Lancers going to rear charge this Axe Warrior, and it is gonna go down. So at this point, massive victory here for the Burgundians, it seems. But this is a weird blob that the Burgundians are doing, though. Definitely, this is not something that it's pretty weird. But some very nice charges. Other than that, with the cavalry, even the general going to engage here with brace, nicely used as well, and the general is dead for the Danes. So now all the units of the Danes should chain route off the field, and it is over. Let's zoom in a little bit into these axes, these Nordic axes, as they get chopped down by both cavalry and Burgundian axes. Hurler getting charged here as well, and that is game. So Diversant takes his first victory in this series with the Burgundians, and as you can see, the Royal Lancers are remarkably strong. They just destroyed the Horse Lords so easily on the charge. As for the Danes, well, some of the axes did okay-ish, but most of them did pretty horribly, and the Javelin men did not get as much time to fire as they needed. Hurlers did some damage, but still Horse Lords doing pretty bad overall. As for the Burgundians, well, you can clearly see that the Royal Lancers were the units that won them the game here. So it is now 2-1 for Achilles. Achilles is still on match point, but we will see if he can win the next one, or if Diversant's gonna tie it up to 2-2. We'll see in game number 4. Fourth game of the series, where we have Achilles playing as the Jutes and Diversant as the Eastern Romans. Now, definitely this is a matchup that Achilles can win with Jutes, and I'd say that he has a pretty good shot at it with the Jutes. In fact, even favored against the Eastern Romans. But time to put it in slow motion. So, he has a Nordic raid leader with brace. Then we see, what do we see? Up front, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Nordic hurlers. And of course, the regular 6 Huskarls. No, actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Huskarls and a Royal Huskarl. Then for cavalry, well, we see a Nordic Horse Lord on each flank, and then 4 Nordic Horse Lords in the center behind all the units. Also a Thralls Skirmisher unit. A Thralls Skirmisher, rather, not the Thralls. Anyway, for Diversant, who's playing as the Eastern Romans, he has a Magister Militum Bronze 1 Gen with brace. Then we see 2 Tagmata Cav Bronze 1 on the left. 3 Tagmata Cav Bronze 1 on the right. Then we have up front a bunch of these Funditores. 3, 4, 5, 6 Funditores. As for the other units, 1, 2, 3, 4 Menelotoi, interestingly enough, and looks like just 3 Heterea guards. Honestly, I would have preferred to see more Hetereas, but we'll see if this works. And we have some Levis Armaturae as well on the field, just one of them. But let's fast forward and see how this one plays out. Funditores against Nordic hurlers. Well, as you can see, the hurlers here have not as much health, but they have a lot more armor than the Funditores. So hurlers in a one-on-one, they will win against Funditores as long as the Funditores don't use precision shot. If the Funditores use precision shot, it's a little bit more complicated, I guess. But we will see how it goes, indeed. I'm going to keep fast forwarding until the skirmish engagement starts. And as you can see here, the hurler is moving up in loose formation because we have more hurlers on the field for the Jutes than there are Funditores. And very nice baiting here actually by the Jutes. Baited the precision shot of the Funditores, of 4 Funditores actually, and then just moved out. So that is a very nice bait, and these Funditores, they got fatigued, but it doesn't really matter because they regain it instantly. The thing that they don't regain instantly though is the precision shot. So that bait was very nice by the Jutes. I would even say that it's an MLG move, but here comes the Tagmata Cav charge, which is going to be very important here, getting into both of these hurlers. And now just going to pull out without really taking damage, but ooh, actually lots of friendly fire by these Funditores actually. Losing 3 of the Tagmata cavalry, that is important. These hurlers coming up here targeting the Heterea guards, but they're moving it up so close that the Funitores can destroy them. Now they're going to target the Tagmata, but the skirmishers are lost for the Jutes, and there's still ammo on the Funitores. Looks like on every Funitores unit has ammo left, so this isn't good for the Jutes actually. But these Funitores are almost out of ammo, and they should start, these hurlers should just start targeting the pikes or the Hetereas. But as you can see here, these units have not really taken damage. This Heterea has lost 3 men, but still, hurlers moving up and going to target more of these Hetereas. These Funitores could actually start targeting Huskarls themselves. Hurler routes here, but we might see an engagement. No, we did not. Achilles still pulling back here. But the Jutes are not in the best position considering how the skirmish engagement went, but we'll see. Looks like this Menelauda gonna get charged by hurlers, but it's gonna drop its spikes and goodbye hurlers. It's gonna be an engagement here, Tagmatas against Horse Lords, but with axe support definitely the Jutes are gonna win that engagement. And over here there is a Horse Lord on the field which is not really doing much. I guess it's throwing its jabs at this Menelauda, and now it's gonna pull away. This engagement here, Royal Huskarls coming through to charge into these units, but the thing is that there's not enough cap support here for the Jutes. They just didn't flank enough, and now this Royal Huskarl gets charged by Tagmata cap, so for the Jutes it's not looking great considering the situation, because this Royal Huskarl just got massively charged by Tagmata and is now gonna lose a lot of men on the charge, but not as much as I thought. It's actually only down to 70 something, and it's gonna start chopping down at Tagmata soon, but it's still not an engagement I would take. But now more Huskarls coming in, so the Tagmata is gonna go down. Over here though, as you can see, looks like these units for the Jutes pushing through, and there's no Heterea here to support, so it's pretty good engagement for the Jutes. Just 2 Hetereas on the left flank doing nothing here, whereas there's only 1 Heterea engaged for the East Romans. This Horse Lord here trying to engage and get a cav charge off, but it's just running around and not really getting one. No cav charge here by the Horse Lords, it is important. And these Huskarls here just chopping down the Tagmatas, so it does appear that this engagement was not worth it for the East Romans. The cav did not do as much damage on the charge, as you can see, only around 59 kills. And Horse Lords here engaging against Tagmatas. Now we see more Horse Lords coming around, and all this friendly fire by this Levis Armature actually is not good for the East Romans. But as you can see here, Jutes charging into the rear of this Heterea, doing damage. More Huskarls on the field for the Jutes as well, going into the rear of these Tagmatas and the Hetereas. Very nice engagement there for the Jutes actually. We could have this Horse Lord pushing through as well and going to fight this Tagmata. And now the general of the East Romans is in a lot of trouble, and this Tagmata is getting chased by the Horse Lord. It's gonna have to engage, or if not, this Master Militum gonna get charged, and that is indeed the case. And now this Tagmata going to fight against another Horse Lord, but it's just going to be supported by Huskarls, and even the Nordic Raid Leader is coming in for the Jutes. And now very nice focus fire here by the Thrall Skirmishers, actually taking out this Heterea guard. Lots of damage done to it already. Even these Huskarls coming in to destroy the Levis Armature. More Huskarls pushing through as well. As you can see, these units here for the East Romans not doing too well here. They're gonna end up dying, and the Magister Militum will too, but it's gonna take a while to kill him because he is extremely tanky. Let's look at the stats. Just look at that, 57 armor and 294 health. And pretty decent the missile block chance to boot, so he is a very hard unit to take down with missiles or with any unit for that matter. But still, he's gonna get chopped down very fast by Axis too. As you can see, he's pulling out of the fight, and this is not something that he likes to do. Really not something that he likes to do at all. As you can see here, Magister Militum engaged, and now he has gotten killed. This is not good at all for it, but still, more Heterea guards on the field that they're trying to do something, but it's just not enough. And the Eastern Romans looks like they're going to fall here as we go into as we zoom into the fray. This Heterea is fighting here, but they're gonna get charged by so many Huskarls, and no, it is not a draw. It is a victory for Achilles here. And let's look at the statistics. Thrall Skirmishers, 150 kills. Wow, they killed a lot of Hetereas, that is for certain. As for the Huskarls, they did pretty well for the Jutes here. And the hurlers kind of died without doing anything though, and the horse lords, some did fine though, but a lot of them just kind of got wasted, as you can see here. As for the Eastern Roman Empire, you can see that the Tagmata cavalry not doing as badly as I would expect it to do. Hateria Guards definitely the major disappointment here, and Minolore not doing a lot either. Funitora is doing a lot of damage though, pretty interesting to see against the herders, but it's not really something that's going to have huge impact on the game really. Even the Levis Armata are doing some damage itself, but a lot of friendly fire. Anyway, Achilles wins the match 3-1, so congratulations to Achilles. He's gonna move on to the round of 16 of this tournament. Hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, don't forget to comment and subscribe, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, share the video, and I'll see you next time.